The earnings week continues as we start off with McDonald's reporting tomorrow morning. All that and more. Our game plan and Forex, our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. Got a pretty interesting earnings week ahead, and we're going to go ahead and analyze a few of the things here. We're going to start off with McDonald's. What can we expect from the McDonald's earnings, and what are they supposed to report? A lot of names reporting next week as the earnings season really just sort of got kicked off. So let me just, I'm going to start and I'm going to give my analysis. Usually it's a little bit flustering to see some of the stuff out there because, it's it's kind of interesting when you do a job like this. The interesting part being I want to give you my thoughts on it, and at the same time I want to give you what I'm betting on. So a lot of times there are things that I think that I'm not betting on, and the same thing goes for you as a trader. You could see 1,000 stock formations. You could feel that, for example, 700 of them are bullish, doesn't mean you're going to be buying 700 of them, or even half of them, or even 10% of them, or maybe even not even 1% of them. And that really is one of the similar things. And every so often I'll come out and I'll talk about Amazon and I'll say, okay, guys, when Amazon breaks the first 1 minute up or down, you have a longer short opportunity and it usually gives follow through. And that's what we basically told you on Amazon on Thursday for how to trade it on Friday. Here's the 1 minute chart, opened up right over here. Then you put in you couldn't really break out here. You started breaking the bottom of the 1 minute chart, and then that was pretty much it for Amazon for the day. In a case like McDonald's, I don't really have that same strategy. But I do want to talk about McDonald's and what's been happening in our world. One part of me One part of me is saying right here, and no need to show 1 minute of McDonald's. I'll show the daily. And just looking here at McDonald's, I don't expect McDonald's to have revenue growth. I believe they're going to have slowing revenue growth. Why? Because I'll just be honest, people are eating healthier these days. I sometimes feel more stressful situations makes people eat crappier. And I think our interpolitical state here in America has gotten a little stressful, so maybe that would justify it. But I think it's going to be completely overshadowed with the fact that everybody is starting to eat healthier. And granted, I'm generalizing when I say everyone, but a large percentage of people are really changing into that healthier style of eating. Now, my idea for McDonald's was I thought it was, by the way, if you followed me for years, I thought it was great when they were doing the Angus beef thing. The reason why the Angus beef thing was good was because it lied to the public and allowed them to think and created an illusion as if they were eating healthier, when in actuality, they weren't. Much like when you get a McDonald's salad, it's one of the least healthy things on the menu. It's crazy because you smother it in that dressing and then it lies to people and it's like, okay, well, you know, your quadruple cheeseburger with onion rings on it isn't healthy because there's a slice of lettuce and tomato on it. And the same thing really holds true for the salads. So on McDonald's, I'm expecting revenue growth to fall. I can't imagine wanting to open up a McDonald's in the United States of America. Now, that doesn't say in developing nations that opening up a McDonald's would be good. The only way I see McDonald's earnings being good is if they have international growth. In impoverished nations that start allowing them to open up restaurants there, and they're doing well because people see McDonald's are pretty much for the first time. Yeah, you have to realize there's another world out there, but for America, that's it. I think you're as saturated as a McDonald's can get. What a brilliant company. They mathematically planned their locations. I think there was like something where you'll never be, no matter where you are um, in the United States, you'll never be more than like what is it? I forgot the number. I think it's like 80, 90 miles from a McDonald's. You'll always be within 80, 90 miles of a McDonald's. Um, with that being said, I think they're oversaturated in the United States. They are reporting Monday morning. I'm expecting them to miss on revenue growth unless they come out with some shocking information showing that they're making more money overseas. Somebody who has eaten McDonald's for a number of years and intelligently never steps foot in a McDonald's again. And then there are people who go there for their coffees and their lattes, and some people just drop by for a soda. I get it, and that's fine. But when you have companies that are sprouting up all over, that are organic markets, healthier markets, and especially, um, for example, after the class we gave last night, I got a lot of good feedback from the class. I will say I just want to also share my thoughts on the class yesterday. I really wish I had another 6, 7, 8 hours with you guys. I do. I do. Because I wanted to just sit there and beat into a pulp every single part of the entire course. So, with that being said, we've had phenomenal feedback from it. Thank you so much. But, as somebody like me who always tries to improve as a broadcaster, as a trader, and as an educator, I will always hold myself to a standard higher than I will always be. I will always say I could do better. That's just the way I think because the truth is everybody could always do better. But back to McDonald's. I mean, with so many people eating healthier these days, McDonald's just is not making sense anymore. It just doesn't make sense. I know people like to order in. I get it. I respect it. It's very nice to have someone cook for you. But when it comes to McDonald's, there's too much competition. I think their revenues are going to start slowing. Just my take. And then, of course, you have Akamai coming in, AKAM. Another company reporting tomorrow, except this one's going to be after the close. Let's see. Yeah, you have so many good companies reporting this week. So on Akamai, it's kind of interesting here on Akamai. I actually think Akamai is going to beat. I think they're going to end up beating on expectations, unlike McDonald's. Beating on expectations is one thing. I think their outlook is not going to be so good. I am again very bearish on McDonald's here. Not bearish enough where I'm going to short it pre-market tomorrow and see what they report. But if it does come in bearish, I think I'm going to use the strategies in which I really talked about during the course to try to short it. Maybe we form a bear flag, maybe we do things like that, but again, I'm probably just going to look to short McDonald's tomorrow, especially if they gap it down. So on Akamai, this one's a little more interesting to me. Here's a software company, and I think in the technology age, a lot of these things have been doing very well. And they recently added the Log Me In CEO to the board. So they recently added the CEO. Now, why this is interesting is they literally added in that CEO on April 5th, right over here. So I'm trying to think like they added they added somebody really big to the board. Did they do it for what reason? Why would they add somebody? Why would they add a new CEO after the company basically went from 44? all the way to $78. Why would they add a CEO right over here? And I was trying to think about that. They added William Wagner, who held the role of president and CEO of LogMeIn with more than 2 million customers, a billion in revenue, and he basically joined in Akamai. I mean, Mr. Wagner he began his career at AT&T, and T, and he was in several companies, but the only reason why I think they should really bring in a new CEO is to take his vision and add to the guidance. So, like, I'm doing some really deep rooted analysis here in Akamai. They're reporting after the close. I think Akamai is gapping up on earnings. You had the last analyst to upgrade was KeyBank, who upgraded it to sector weight from underweight back on March 15. Before that, you had Deutsche Bank upgrade, Credit Suisse upgrade, um, JP Morgan upgrade. So you had a lot of upgrades back in March here for this company, and it basically, rallied up, pulled in a little with the market. I think this stock is going to be, I'm probably going to play Akamai calls tomorrow, and I'll let you know what I do with it in the room. Other than that, um, I'm just looking forward to some of the earnings names, trading some of these names. We had a pretty wild week from last week with Amazon pulling in on earnings and names like Google that weren't able to hold up. Google's in a bear flag formation. This is some really interesting stuff here. I could see, as I said before, Google breaking under $1,000. It would surprise me if it doesn't. We have another tremendously sized company reporting next week as well. And I think you guys are already knowing what I'm actually going to say on this one, but we actually have Apple reporting, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, that's going to be Tuesday after the close. I'm going to give a little wrap up on it. I would suggest also listening to like my Apple bashing videos because I was really I was really bashing Apple because of what happened recently. I mean, I love their products and just taking you back to an old slide here. Whoops, I know your screen went black. Just give me a second. Just gonna add it in. There we go. Okay. So this was from last week. Basically Latin caveat emptor for buyer beware and why I'm skeptical about Apple's guidance. They apologize to customers over updates slowing the software. Their batteries are failing. They're free for people who've had defective batteries, which hurts the company. Poor products equals less money equals more problems. Um, and again, that's not to say that Apple's numbers aren't going to destroy the street. Of course they are. I mean, I love listening to other people talk like that, like, oh, I think, like Amazon is gonna beat on earnings per share, and I'm like, of course they are. There hasn't been a FANG name that's missed on earnings per share for how many years now? So Apple, of course, if the street says, oh, we were expecting them to make whatever, $2 a share, they're gonna announce $2.70 or $2.30. They'll beat. But what it's gonna come down to for Apple is guidance. And, ladies and gentlemen, if Apple announces bad earnings on Tuesday, this market is going, in bad earnings, I mean by guidance. I mean, let's just call it earnings that Wall Street doesn't like. Because I really don't like saying what's good earnings and bad. It's so subjective. You know how many analysts I see out there who said Google's earnings were great because they destroyed on earnings per share and then Google gaps down? Giving a number for, saying earnings are good or bad is always a matter of opinion. Watching what the market does is always a fact. I think Apple's going to gap down on earnings. I think Apple's going to gap down um, and drag the market with it. So going back to the chart here, I'm bullish on Akamai. I'm bearish on Apple. I'm neutralish to bearish on McDonald's. And that's going to be just basically what I am looking for. Just real simply put, we're going to go into our game plan in Forex, and just gonna hold on, just go ahead and fix that real quick. We are starting the month of May. I am expecting a lot of news flow coming in this month. I am expecting a lot of news flow to come in this month and a lot of good things. But in terms of my game plan for tomorrow, I mean, I'll watch GNPX. This stock can explode. All right. What do I mean by explode? Here's what it did on Thursday. You saw it shot up from 589 to 1839. What kind of expectation? I think this thing could get to 22, 23, $24. Yeah, I just insinuated a level that's over 50% higher than where it closed on Friday. So it's very possible, especially if it has the pre-market volume. It was a recent IPO in late March, GNPX, and it just started moving with tremendous momentum. So again, I'll be looking to maybe I'll take a look at this. Maybe there'll be a trade in it. And with that being said, we have our Forex trades of the day. Here they are. Just please note that these aren't all buys. You got a couple sell orders in there. 7 orders. Here are my size and standard lots. Here are the symbols I'm watching, the price in which I'm bidding or offering at, my stop loss if I'm wrong, my take profit if I'm right. You could go ahead and feel free to screenshot at any time. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're going to go right into our full stock analysis. That's your stocks, my levels, and thoughts. I wanted to humbly thank you guys for attending the Newsbeat Masterclass, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And it was my honor serving you on Saturday for that class, and I know that's going to do a lot for us when we start trading. I know it's going to be doing a lot for us when you guys follow me. I'm going to be answering all your emails after this in my little mailbag. And yeah, and I'm going to analyze your names right now. And again, that is, of course, for Newsbeat Live members only. We're the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.